Walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala, amma ba'd. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Good morning to everyone. We welcome you to another episode of Morning Tea, Talaqqi and Tadabbur, where we will recite a few verses from the Quran, and afterwards we will be reflecting upon some of the verses that we have read, inshallah. So first and foremost, let us begin our session with Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah, in the hopes that this session will be a beneficial one, and that it will be sort of a kickstart to a positive day ahead, inshallah. Ala hadhihi niyya wa kullu niyyatin salihah. Al-Fatihah. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Alhamdulillah. So hope you are all in the best state of health and iman, and don't forget to like and share this episode so that many others may benefit from this session too, inshallah. Okay, so today's session we will be reciting page 108 from the Quran. Okay, page 108 from the Quran, and this page corresponds with Suratul Nisa. Okay, Suratul Nisa, verses 6 all the way till verse 9. So verses 6 till 9 from Surah Al-Ma'idah. So if you have your personal mushafs with you, you may follow along by turning to page 108. If you don't have, or if you'd rather follow along with the verses on the screen, by all means, okay. We will also be displaying the verses on the screen, inshallah, verses 6 till 9 from Surah Al-Ma'idah. Okay, let us begin. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu idza qumtum ilas salati faghsilu wujuhakum wa aydiyakum ilal marafiqi wamsahu bi ru'usikum wa arjulakum ilal ka'bayn. Wa in kuntum junuban fattahharu wa in kuntum mardaa aw ala safarin aw jaa ahadun minkum minal ghaa'iti aw lamastumun nisaa falam tajidu ma'an fatayammamu sa'idan tayyiban فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم منه ما يريد الله ليجعل عليكم من حرج ولكن يريد ليطهركم وليتم نعمته عليكم لعلكم تشكرون واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم وميثاقه الذي واثقكم به إذ قلتم سمعنا وأطعنا واتقوا الله إن الله عليم بذات الصدور يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين لله شهداء بالقسط ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا وأقرب للتقوى واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم صدق الله العظيم. So Alhamdulillah, we have just finished reciting verses 6 and 9 from Surah Al-Ma'idah. Okay, and one particular verse that we can highlight and focus upon is the first verse that we read today, which is verse number 6 from Surah Al-Ma'idah, where Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim, Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu idza qumtum ilas salah faghsilu wujuhakum wa aydiyakum ilal marafiq wamsahu biru'usikum wa arjulakum ilal ka'bain. So Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off by mentioning or by addressing us, okay? O you who believe, idza qumtum ila salah, okay, when you want to stand or when you want to perform your daily prayers, okay, what should you do? The emphasis here throughout this verse is on at-tahara, on purifying oneself before you perform your prayer. So this is an important aspect when we want to perform our prayer lah, okay, which is we want ourselves to be physically, okay, purified. So here Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the main arkan of al-wudu, okay, the main elements that you have to do if you were to perform wudu. Okay, so what's the first element? Faghsilu wujuhakum. You have to wash your face, the whole of the face lah, okay. So that is the first mandatory aspect of wudu, washing your face. And then the second aspect is wa aydiyakum ilal marafiq, which is your forehands all the way to your elbow here. Okay, so that is the second aspect, washing your forehand all the way till your elbow. And then the third aspect is wamsahu biru'usikum, is washing your head, okay, with water. Wa arjulakum ilal ka'bain. Okay, and when we talk about ka'bain is your, what do you call it, ankles, okay, washing your feet to your ankles. So these are the four main aspects of wudu. Okay, ablution. The main objective is to purify yourselves physically from any impurities. Okay, and the four main aspects are, as mentioned in this verse, washing your face, washing your forehands till your elbows, and where is it? Washing your head, and then washing your feet till the ankles. Right? And then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala continues, wa in kuntum junuban fattahharu. And if you are in the state of janabah. Okay, janabah essentially means when you have just finished sexual intercourse with your wife or your husband. So you have to purify yourself. After sexual intercourse, you are in the state of junub. Okay, in the state of janabah. So you have to purify yourself. You cannot take wudu immediately. You have to what do you call it? Shower. Okay, and with the intention of al-hadath al-akbar. You want to that's the meaning of fattaharu. Okay, you have to purify yourselves first from al-hadath al-akbar first, and then you can proceed to take your wudu. Right? Then continuing on, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentions, wa in kuntum marda aw ala safarin aw jaa ahadun minkum minal gha'id aw lamastumun nisa falam tajidu ma. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gives some scenarios. Okay, the first one, in kuntum marda, if you are ill. Okay, and in this sense, if you are bedridden, for example, in a hospital, and it is hard for you to access the toilet to take ablution, or rather there's no water near you. Okay, the second scenario, aw ala safar, and if you are traveling, and the same scenario too as the first one, you are traveling, you are on the road, but you have no access to water. You have no water bottle with you. Even you have a water bottle, but you don't have water inside the water bottle, for example. So say that is the scenario, you don't have water with you. And then the third scenario, aw jaa ahadum minkum minal gha'id, or if you were to relieve yourself. Okay, meaning you've pooped, okay, or you've qada hajah, and you don't have water with you. And the fourth scenario also mentions here, aw lamastumun nisa. So if we touch a mahram, okay, so our ablution is void. So we have to take ablution once more before we want to perform salat. But when you accidentally touch an ajnabi, there's no access to water, so you cannot take ablution. So in these instances, you cannot take ablution with water. You cannot purify yourself, for example, by istinja. You cannot do so with water. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gives us guidance, fatayammamu sa'idan tayyiba. Then the second option, or the alternative option, is tayammum. So tayammum in essence is, you don't need to have water to purify yourselves. Okay, you can take the sand, okay, sand particles around you, or the dust particles around you, then you perform tayammum. Okay, and how is tayammum performed? It in essence is mentioned also in this verse, where Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentions, famsahu bi wujuhikum wa aydikum min. So you famsahu bi wujuhikum, you wipe over your faces, and then wa aydikum, and your hands too with it. hence being just like the part mentioned when we want to take ablution, which is our forearms all the way till our elbows, right? So your face and your forearms all the way till your elbows. So this is the essential aspects of tayammum if you want to perform it. Then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala informs us, ma yuridullahu liyaj'ala 'alaikum min haraj. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala does not want to burden you by enforcing at-tahara. Okay, the act of purifying ourselves before we do any act of worship. As mentioned in this verse, when performing salah or when performing salah lah, okay. Walakin, rather, yuridu liyutahhirakum wa liyutimma ni'matahu 'alaikum la'allakum tashkurun. So Allah's intention solely is to purify us from impurities and complete His favor upon us, so that we may be grateful servants to Him. Okay, so that is the main essence of purifying ourselves. Okay, at-tahara. When we are in that state, purifying ourselves, we will worship Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in the best state possible physically, okay, free from any impurities. And when we do so, we will be grateful to Him during the act of worship. Okay. So before we end, I'd like to end the session with an analogy. Okay, so if we imagine ourselves that we are going for an interview, okay, seeking a job, going for an interview, we will meet the higher ups of that organization. So of course we want to be in the best state possible. Of course we wear our best clothes, we comb our hair with pomade, with gel, or we make sure our clothes are ironed and there are no creases to our shirts. And also, if we never wear perfume before this, we wear perfume because it's a crucial interview, right? So similar to acts of worship where we are calling to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, we are meeting with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So we want to ensure we are in the best state possible. And among those ways is to purify ourselves physically, and that is through ablution. Okay, which is why it is put into high regard until the process is explained thoroughly by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in one particular verse. And if we were to have no water with us, okay, if water is not accessible to us, then an alternative would be to perform tayammum. Right, so this essentially gives us a general background, okay, and it reminds us to always be to always maintain our hygiene, okay. And furthermore, during this uncertain times, okay, during COVID, where high emphasis is put on maintaining our physical selves and also our health. So one way is to maintain our physical state of mind and body, okay, and it is guided by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala on how we should take ablution and why we should purify ourselves and whatnot, so that it serves as a means for us to be grateful to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala during our acts of worship, inshallah. Okay, we suffice with this reflection. We thank you all for following us along in this session. Hope it has been a beneficial one. Till next time, okay, fi hifzillah wa fi amanillah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.